I hope we're live now. Yes. And just before we get started, this is Security Talk 5, but I'd like to just get this out of the way for those of you who might be watching it later on, that this is a live episode. So, if there's a zombie apocalypse, or if there's an avalanche, or, a meteor shower, or just some mad guy yelling in the background, there's not much I can do about it. Having said that, I'll try to keep it as professional as possible. And the thing I'd be hoping for most is some participation, if we can get that. I'd like to hear your comments on the topics that we'll be discussing, because that's the whole point of a live event. So I want it to be as interactive as possible. Now, having said that, let's get the intro out of the way. So we're going to start today's episode by talking about the threat review. Once again, I'm going to give you guys some insight as to what you're going to see in this episode. So we have a ton of articles, but some of these are not necessarily news. They might be olds, considering they're probably like a month old. That's because the Security Talk episode has been delayed and delayed. It's supposed to have been done a long time ago. But better late than never. So I decided to include some of the articles that I had planned before, because they're still relevant today. But anyway, this is the first topic, and I'm only going to focus on the threat review part. So according to MCSoft, viruses are now officially to be considered dead. There were only like 0.2% of the malware in January 2015, and 80% of that chart is taken up by PUPs. And keep in mind, these types of threats were not even around a few years back, so the threat landscape has changed vastly. And I'd like to see maybe how many of these are ransomware, because that's another category of threats that we're seeing a lot lately. So MCSoft have kind of focused entirely on PUPs for this article. And that is an important point in 2016. So let's move to ESET's threat review, where they've basically talked about the Internet of Things, and this is another point I'd like to make. As we move into 2016, a lot of devices that previously had nothing to do with the internet are going online. Let's say your thermostat, your smart homes, your security locks in the garage, your security cameras. Not just that, there are lots of things, even televisions and all sorts of things are using the internet. And as more and more devices use the internet, it also opens up more and more vulnerabilities, because a lot of the manufacturers for these devices, they're not necessarily aware of all the security problems that exist on those platforms. So as new platforms enter the scenario, I think it's only going to get more complicated, and it's important that we move forward as in security along with the technology that we're implementing in a lot of physical devices. So that's pretty important. Now, moving right along, this is actually a funny article by Krebs. And it's kind of old. It was in November 15, but I decided it was kind of interesting. So we all know about POS malware. So what it does is, let's say it infiltrates the point of sale machines that are being used in many of the retail locations. Like, let's say in this case, it's the gas stations. So ever use your card to swipe and purchase your gas? Well, if that device is hijacked, the hackers or whatever can kind of use your credit card number to buy more and more gas from that gas station. And the funny thing about this article is it mentions some of the other hazards that go along with that, not just the stolen credit card information. So after doing that, what these fuel theft gangs, or whatever they like to call them, do is they come with these so-called bladder trucks. They're meant to look like just a regular vehicle, but their purpose is to, kind of just stream all the gas away into another vehicle. And once that is done, okay, I think we're facing some low speeds here. That's a problem. Anyway, I'll go ahead and we'll see if that improves. So if they do that, that's fine. But these fuel-laden vehicles roaming around are not just carrying stolen gas. They're also a safety hazard for people on the streets. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, so moving right along. Google bans over 780 million bad ads to protect online experience. Now, malvertising has become a thing in 2016. A lot of advertisers who are just sick and tired of people using adblock are also using, malware as part of their advertising or whatever. There are a lot of exploit kits that start with ads. So as if, having annoying ads wasn't bad enough, now there are cases where those ads lead to different types of malware. And that's a terrible experience to have, to get infected because of an ad. And that completely ruins the trust on the website that you visited, although the website itself may not be malicious. And Google is a huge ad network. A lot of things use Google AdSense, including the PC security channel, YouTube, lots of stuff. So everybody uses Google's advertising platform. So the fact that they've banned a lot of bad ads is a good thing. I hope other advertising platforms also take stringent measures to get rid of some of these ads. So I was just taking a look at the chat, and it seems you guys are just saying, hey, you're great, but I'd like to hear some comments on some of the things that we're discussing right now. So that way it'll be more interactive rather than just me having a monologue. So here's something I'd like your opinion on. So Anonymous, the hacker group, we know about them. They're one of the largest hacker groups in the world. They have carried out a DDoS attack, that's distributed denial of service, for those who don't know, which basically means they flood a server with a ton of requests, and because of those requests, the server kind of gets delayed and hung up, and it stops responding to genuine requests from other places, and that's how they take a server offline. So in this case, they have carried out the attack on a Japanese airport website, and the reason they've done that is because, okay, let's just read over here. So the main reason they did that, as I know, is because each year 20,000 dolphins, whales, and all sorts of wildlife is being killed by the Japanese fishermen, and they're not taking action. So as retaliation for a good cause, Anonymous have carried out this DDoS attack. So what is your opinion on this? Do you just think that, hacking is just all hacking is bad and it just should not happen? And people like Anonymous should be treated like a terrorist organization? Or do you feel that, it is a genuine tool to show public discontent or something of that nature? So that's something I'd like to know. So 1 in 5 kids believe that search engine results are always true. Now that's kind of disturbing. It's important to understand the actual structure of the internet before you start using it. So a search engine is not the internet, but I can tell you, this poll is about children, but a lot of adults also use search engines as if, it was the internet itself, which is very disturbing because search engine results have absolutely nothing to do with the actual content that's on the internet. It's just a keyword identifier. It just looks for those keywords in different pages, and whatever it finds, it shows up. Now, things like Google are really good at this, so most of the time you will get accurate results, but just because you search for something like, let's say, the PC security channel, it does not mean that you're actually going to be watching the PC security channel, or you'll actually end up exactly at the correct website. Some fake website may just improve their search engine optimization, and they may appear higher in the search results, in which case you are going to end up there and not at the website that you're looking for. Now, in things like Google, it's probably safe to assume that the results you're getting are probably accurate, but it's important to notice the difference between a website and a search engine result. So, all right, we'll move on to a product now. Malwarebytes Anti-Ransomware Beta. Now, I know some of you guys have told me about this product, and I haven't really got a chance to play with it yet, but they have a nice video down here where you can take a look at it. And it basically just shows you different ransomware being executed with and without Malwarebytes Anti-Ransomware. So I'm just going to go through one of these demonstrations so that you can see. And as you can see, the file gets encrypted when the ransomware executes. But if you have Malwarebytes Anti-Ransomware, this is CTB Locker, by the way. It gets blocked. So they have this nice video over here. They call it the Malwarebytes Anti-Ransomware Sneak Peek. But if you go down to the comments, I'd kind of agree with Shane, who has said that why not roll this technology into your flagship product instead of having a separate app? Now, ransomware is really common, and it is a type of malware. So I would expect whatever product you're using, or your main antivirus product or your secondary product. Now, Malwarebytes itself is already a secondary product. So I don't think it makes sense to create different modules for each type of threat, like specifically for anti-ransomware. I think this type of technology should be integrated in their Malwarebytes Anti-Malware Premium, if not in the free version. But making it into a separate product is probably not the best idea, because this way, let's think about it this way. I mean, what if you end up with like 20 security products on your computer? You're definitely not going to like it that way. So people want to use one security product that does everything. For combinations, maybe 2, maybe 3 products. But if we start making different products for ransomware, PUPs, and things like that, we're going to end up with a lot of things. But hopefully this is in beta. Maybe they will include this module in their premium version. I'm not sure, but that would be the right thing to do, according to me. So I'm trying to make this episode swift because this is live, and I don't want, as I said, a zombie apocalypse to start somewhere. So I want to get it done before the zombie apocalypse, because I'm so scared. All right, Yawn 2, PUPs with 2 faces, and a lot of PUPs are doing that. The point I'll be focusing on here is the VM awareness, or the virtual machine awareness. For those of you guys who don't know what a VM is, I guess all of you guys know. Anyway, so this one actually checks the drive model and the BIOS manufacturer, which is really difficult to change or hide. I know a lot of malware used to take a look at your system specifications, and if they were below a certain level, like let's say less than 2 gigs of RAM or less than 1 processor, it can't be less than 1 processor, I mean less than 2 processors, just 1 processor. In those cases, they do not execute because they assume that it is a virtual machine. And okay, here's a comment. Would Malwarebytes Premium be also considered as second opinion software? And yeah, I'd say yes. And let's move on here. So there were a lot of malware or threats that used to do that, looking at system specifications and accordingly deciding whether or not to do their thing or drop their payload, because they know that security researchers and analysts use virtual machines to find out what the malware is doing and then block it. So in order to avoid detection, what they do is they don't work on virtual machines, which is why, by the way, the virtual machines that I use, they have like 4 gigs of RAM, and they use 2 processors in order to avoid that. But if the malware starts doing things like this, checking the BIOS manufacturer, it'll be really difficult to, fool the malware into installing itself on a virtual machine. So actually, Malwarebytes have gone in depth. They've talked about why they've classified this thing as PUP. It's kind of funny how they have mentioned it. You can go ahead and take a look at the article. I will be posting the links in the description once this episode is done. Actually, if you go into Malwarebytes policy, let's just read it here. It says that they block software if the browser add-ons. Okay, so they block browser add-ons that install across multiple browsers. So that's their policy for browser add-ons. And Yantu was found violating it. So that's why they blocked it. It was kind of a, long story, so I'll let you read the article for that. So, which engine do you trust and why? You can vote. There's a poll by Sophos, and it turns out so far DuckDuckGo has been the winner with 967 votes. That's almost 50%. Google is second. Other search engines are third. That's interesting. So many others. I would like to know what those search engines are. And Bing is fourth. Yahoo is way down the line, and Baidu is even worse. They come from China. There's some stereotyping there, but anyway, maybe a legitimate one. Anyway, so DuckDuckGo. How many of you guys use DuckDuckGo? I'd be interested to know that. Personally, I'd probably use Google most of the time just because their searching algorithm is really efficient and it gives me results that are relevant. But is DuckDuckGo more secure? I know it has some additional privacy features, but how many of you guys use DuckDuckGo for that? I'd like to know. So we're going to end with a topic that is not necessarily related to security. It's more of a tech topic, and it's basically about Pepper. Now, Pepper is a new artificial intelligence kind of thing. It's not really artificial intelligence, but what it does, unlike all other robots and things that we've been seeing lately, is that it kind of tries to read the emotion of the person that it's talking to. Usually you have things like, we have these Google Now and Siri on our phones. They just take in a question and they process it and they give you a response. But they don't really get any additional information from that question. But what Pepper is going to do is it is going to take in the question and it's going to try to understand the state of mind that you're in based on that. So let's say you ask Pepper to tell you a joke or something like that. It understands that, okay, maybe you're feeling gloomy, and it's going to try to do different things to cheer you up. I think this might be kind of an interesting thing in the evolution of artificial intelligence and robots that we built, because to humans it's kind of really important. We want the person we're communicating with, or it's, in this case it's not a person, but we want a response understanding our state of mind. And that has been a crucial difference between using robots and talking to actual people, because people understand based on what you're saying, what you're thinking, and they can give responses based on that, not just the particular question that you asked. So it'll be interesting to see how Pepper rolls out and how well it deals with these things. I'd be interested to see. Maybe more videos will be out and then I'll have more information. But this is something interesting. Just wanted to let you guys know. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. We're going to wrap it up now. It's been a long time, 19 minutes. And okay, I see somebody has said here, for the privacy, I definitely use DuckDuckGo, I assume, as their main search engine. That's nice. And I'd like to see some more, input from you next time around. This time it's been, I guess it's kind of my fault because I didn't announce this episode in advance. But hopefully when we do it next time around, there'll be a much bigger viewer turnaround. So if you guys are interested, please follow the PC Security channel on Facebook and Twitter, because that's how I can post these timings, and maybe you guys can know when you're going to have the episodes. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm just going to switch to the outro now. And hey, if you want to watch more stuff like this, maybe we can have maybe Tech Talk. Well, Tech Talk is actually taken up by someone else. You guys, some of you guys have actually seen me on the Tech Syndicate YouTube comments and stuff like that. So I'm planning on doing a show like that, maybe on Seemly Leo. So do check out that channel as well. By the way, I got a new URL for it. It's Seemly Leo 1, because I didn't find Seemly Leo. So you can go to youtube.com/c/Seemly Leo 1, and that's where you can watch some other content, maybe more related to tech. And maybe if you guys are interested, we can have a tech show or something of that nature, not just security talk. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. This was my first live episode. I hope I didn't do too bad. Let me know, give me some feedback. I'm open to criticism as well. Let me know what I can improve upon. And that's it for today. So have a good day. I'll see you later. And as always, stay informed, stay secure.